What's up? Let's get into it, people. Let's get into it, right? We're going to talk about knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, and how that looks like today in today's movement, right? And not even really going to call it a movement, just in today's culture and society with our people, right? Specifically speaking about the black man and talking about, codes that we should be living by, like integrity and respect, right? Knowledge being the foundation of all things. What you think, you create. Knowledge is the base and foundation of manifestation. You have to think before you create it, right? Safe to say you have to think about the computer or think about the house. You have to come up with these diagrams. You got to come up with these blueprints in your mind before, which in your mind, which is energy, comes into fruition, and then it comes manifestation into the physical in the real world, right? So, when we thinking about knowledge, we know that it's a lot of very intelligent people out there, but intelligence can be very skillful and useful, or it can be very dangerous. Even the devil has knowledge about the things that it does. I'm not gonna give it a he or she name, right? And by your actions, which is knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Your wisdom is your actions, right? I believe wisdom is your actions. I can tell what kind of knowledge you have by the way that you move and the way that you speak, right? And your wisdoms tell me that, one, again, your actions. So if your actions is not matching up and aligning with the words that you're speaking, what our people need to be doing, what our people should be doing. An elder always told me, that's from the Black Panther Party, is that I can't trust any man that has knowledge and don't have their boots to the ground. Because as gods, we here to teach, not hold information. So if we're here to teach and hold information, then we have to live by integrity and respect and set forth an example. Can we eat good to tell our people to eat better? Can we work out and take care of our physical self so we can be the example of what it needs to look, what it looks like to eat and take care of ourselves and promote a healthy lifestyle, a longer way of living? Can we study and have intelligence? And when we take that intelligence, once you know, you cannot unknow. So we know that there's a gang violence. If we know that there is a problem, a violence in the community and in our nation, then it's our job to set forth a positive example of that. If we are living by virtues and righteousness, and in truth, order, and justice, then we have to live accordingly by the ways that we are teaching and preaching. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad, or Louis Farrakhan, or Baba Khalid Muhammad, or General Taco, if there's a people that's living a certain different kind of way other than what it is that they're preaching, then those people are to be held accountable, because we are to be held accountable for our actions, right? With every action there comes a reaction, right? So we got to be careful of people who are leading and calling themselves leaders. And some, I get it, a lot of people don't want to call themselves leaders, never really wanted to pick up that mantle. But if you're using your platform, to say that this is what I'm going to do is to get this message across, and then on a different platform you're talking about pimping and you're talking about gang banging and so forth, that's a contradiction, and you're actually triggering the same trauma that you're trying to correct inadvertently by trying not to be a leader. You are being a leader. It's like a rapper who says, I'm a rapper, I'm not a role model. By default, you are a role model. People are looking to you to lead, no matter what it is that they are doing. If they want to get into gang violence, or they want to get into selling drugs, if they want to get into pimping, they are looking for this music, this vibrational energy, right? This frequency to follow. Things follow frequency. That by nature, that is just what we do as humans, especially as being the original man and woman of this earth. We follow vibration. They say that, when you want to get into intelligence and vibrational wise into music, about 440 hertz is where the mind starts to create and starts to have good patterns. And if you know anything about the music, they lower the hertz down and to lower your vibration down. So if you follow in a low vibration, then you're going to move in that trajectory, right? So if you are actually out here giving high vibrational information, but you living in a low vibrational realm, then you are doing yourself and you doing your people that you're trying to reach a disservice. So by no means that I'm not going to let that happen and underneath my watch with that information, because that's dangerous. That's dangerous to have children and have people following you and following your words, and you saying you don't want to be a leader, and then you turn around and everything that you're putting out is triggering that same kind of trauma. You know, that doesn't make sense to me, to be talking about black power and revolutionary values and come together and oneness and Black August, and then I'm turning around and I'm pimping on my sister, or I'm gang banging with my brothers out here and these street tribes. You know what I mean? It doesn't make sense. My job every day is to reach these street tribes, try to educate them on, you know, generational wealth, try to educate them on the digital era, try to educate them on augmented and virtual reality and things that where things are going today. You know, it's one thing to teach and be a teacher, but it's another thing when you are using your platform to be a teacher and people are following your lead. By default, you are being a leader. You can run from it, you can call it what you want to call it, but now you have a responsibility to the people. And then a lot of people like to get out in front of the public eye and be in front of the news cameras and everything else, but yet and still say that they're not a leader or don't want to be a leader. Like, well, then why are you stepping into that light? That doesn't make sense. If I'm not going to be an actor, I'm not going to step in front of the camera. I'm going to do a job behind the scenes. I'm going to direct. I'm going to write the script. I'm going to do the lighting, the grips. I'm going to do whatever it is I need to do behind the scenes. You know, you got to look at the same instance that if you don't want to be in front of the camera, I'm just speaking on the business sense wise, then you got to look at the CEO. I dare y'all to look up the CEO right now. Look up the CEO and Google who the CEO is of Popeyes. If you look at the CEO who it is of Popeyes, it's a middle-aged white woman. But what face does she use for the Popeyes commercials and so forth to sell that product? She uses a black woman. Their models have been used as imagery since the beginning, and ain't nothing wrong with that. I just say study, like Derek Gray says, study the wolves. Study the wolves so you understand how to play this game and how this game is being played, and take advice, you know what I mean? Unless you don't want to, you know what I mean? Everybody got the right to their opinion, but, you know, and do their thing. And at the end of the day, that's just what it is. But, you know, don't be mad when you be held accountable, because at the same sense, we're talking about what men need to be doing and what the masculine man need to be doing, and changing the trajectory of what masculinity looks like. Because as masculine men, we let society define what it is to be a masculine black male. We let a white male decide what masculinity looks like. We let a gay white male or a gay male decide what masculinity now looks like. Because if we talk about what toxic masculinity is, I don't understand that lingo and that concept, because what is the opposite of that? What is the opposite of toxic masculinity? No one ever talks about that, you know, because I'm a assertive male. I'm a dominant male, you know, or a sigma male. You can look up beta. A lot of people think it's beta, but it's actually beta versus alpha versus sigma male. I mean, look those things up, those three little gems, and the three keys I'm gonna give y'all. You know, look that up: alpha, beta, and sigma male. So when you have an alpha male who want to step into the room and be the loudest in the room, want to be heard in the room, and want to have to do physical things to draw attention to itself, then you have a beta male who's just going to be relaxed, reserved, you know, compliant with everything, you know, pretty much a yes man. And you have a sigma male that's kind of like in between. It's not going to go for too much stuff, but also can stand on his own square, you know what I mean? And like I said, a lot of times we let society, you know, create this narrative about what a male and a divine masculinity should look like. So if we're talking about what masculinity should look like versus femininity should look like as well, then, you know, we have to hold ourselves accountable, and you have to be ready to take constructive criticism or take that instruction. A lot of times we can't take instruction from other men because we feel like we have to be the ones giving instruction, or it's making us any weaker to take instructions from our brothers. You know what I mean? And there's nothing wrong with taking instruction from your brothers. You got to know when to be a general and know when to be a soldier. A good soldier know how to give orders, and a good soldier know when to follow orders too. A good soldier know how to follow orders, and a good soldier know when to give orders as well. You know, at some point, everybody can't be all chiefs in the kitchen. What you good at, you got to be able to delegate jobs. That's why when you go down the chain of command, it always going to go down to the next person down. And in the Black Rider Liberation Party, you know what I mean? Every soldier should be trained one step above. That way, if something happened to that one person, then that spot can be fulfilled. That's how you should be, you know, technically acting and reacting in your family household and your family business as well. Everybody should be able to be pretty adequately trained on everybody else's job, even if it's not their job, you know. So again, you got to know when to delegate responsibility and pass that information on. But it's masculine men and masculinity and what that look like. If we're going to hold somebody accountable, or we want to be teaching the masses, like I said, by default, you are still being a leader. You're being a leader even if you feel like you don't want to be. So you still got to wear that title. If not, then you should probably step out of that lane and let other people who's going to take over that. So if you out here gang banging, or you out here pimping and everything else, but want to say what we need to be doing as black people, that makes no obvious sense to me. And that's some bird shit. You know what I mean? That's some bird. You a bird. And you know what I mean? Like, that shit make no sense to me. But like a bird, all flocks, low vibrational people is going to flock, just like the birds is going to flock with their flock. You know what I'm saying? So if you are giving people low vibrational stuff, and you're not actually raising the vibration because you're not doing the things that you are talking about, you're just talking about it. You know what I mean? I've been to war with the police. I've been experienced oppression from the police. Repression breeds repression, you know what I mean? So because of the acts and the energy that I put out to say that we're not going to continue to keep letting you put our boot on our neck, and we're going to be in your face as much as y'all in our face, you know what I mean, caused me some repression as well, you know what I mean, facing federal cases and shit. I'm battle tested, you know what I'm saying? We've been downtown in Portland, Oregon, doing whatever we got to do during all these protests, making sure that our voices is heard and our voices is amplified and the people is protected. You know, we've been on countless missions, you know what I mean? You can count how many countless missions we've been on, and it's documented for that exact same reason. You know, and it's because we fall off or you don't see us out as much. There's a reason behind that as well. Everything is calculated. So when you decide to become a masculine man, and you decide to step out in front of your people, and it's hard to fight for people who don't want to fight for themselves. That's going to be the hardest job that you have to do. But see, that's the thing, is that a lot of people talk a good game and they don't want to step into that light because they don't want that responsibility. They don't want that responsibility, have all eyes looking at them, asking what is your plan? What's the plan? What are we doing? You know, and they don't want the scrutiny either, because a lot of times their eyes are going to be looking at you and fingers are going to be pointing at you, and you're going to have to answer for that one way or another. And a lot of people don't want the responsibility of saying, well, here's this going on. Where are you guys at? Because at the end of the day, the flip side is that, you know, well, what are you doing? You're at home with your feet kicked up, just waiting for me to go out, get beat, go to jail, just so you guys have something to talk about on social media. And I'm kind of got away from all that. You know what I mean? Social media is free commercial space. And now I know that I can leverage myself and do some other things with social media. You know, so at the end of the day, like, what we want to be focusing on now is more the educational base, to make sure that we can give people the education and the correct education, and also give them an example of what it looks like to put their boots to the ground, what it looks like to actually get out here and put the work in, what it actually look like out here to raise the vibrational, you know, raise the vibrational frequency of what it looks like to be a masculine man, what it looks like to be a divine feminine female, you know what I mean, what it looks like to actually court and actually take care of the black woman, what it actually looks like to say that you're not perfect, but I'm imperfectly perfect, because every day I'm working for myself, working on myself to be 1% better than I was yesterday. I'm educating myself. Once you know, you cannot unknow. You know what I mean? When you stop chasing money, stop chasing things that doesn't not have any kind of return on your investment. When you are out here, you know, giving your life to the nightclub, your life to the nightlife, and the clubs and the bars and liquor and, you know, and sexual prowess and hypersexuality or drugs or whatever your vice may be, you know what I mean? Whatever your vice may be that has absolutely no return on your investment and is actually doing more harm to your body and to your life, and then you turn around and tell kids to do this or this, somebody should be this way, like they're not paying attention to that. They understand your energy, like, man, you can't tell me what to do, because at the end of the day, you have to be honest with yourself. You're responsible for tomorrow's creations because of what you failed to realize and what you failed to do today. So you cannot always ask, like, what is wrong with the kids? I don't like the way that they doing this. I don't like the way they doing that. But what culturally wise did you do? And I'm not talking about yourself, because it's a collective thing, self included. What did you do collective wise in a group or an organization with integrity and respect, so that these kids can model this. When did you last time that you grabbed one of some of these youngsters up and took them out to the woods, took them out to build with them, took them out and talked to, I'm talking about speaking about young men in specific, about, semen retention. I let the women speak about the women and what young women needs to do and young goddesses need to do. What did you do to build up that young man from man to God? Did you show him a God? Because you can't call yourself a God. I don't even think you can call yourself a king if you don't have a queen to court you, and she actually anointed you and chose you to be king. Right? 2, if you are not out here living in your light and living in your purpose and having king virtues and king values, you just want to wear a crown just so you can have the aesthetics and romanticize the idea of being something greater than what you know that you fucking ain't and what you fucking could be, right? So recognize that, and recognize that men can go from men to gods. You know what I mean? We want to build gods to where it's a beautiful feeling when I can walk into Seattle, or I can walk down the street and any given time, some brothers is yelling at me, "What's up, God? Peace, God." You know what I mean? We recognize each other as more than what the mere mortal or society say that we should be. Nip made a very good point, is that when you walk down the street and when gang members see another gang member, and they can totally walk past the white guy that looks just the same, but when a gang member see another black brother with a certain kind of hat, a certain kind of pair of pants, identified culturally wise by what we have on and what we typically wear just as in the culture, right? When they identify that, they say, "There you go, get him," right? That is to say that you recognize that you are lower vibration and you recognize a nigga, because it's easy for a nigga to kill a nigga. A nigga is just a mentality that was created by white folks, that was created by the white man. You know what I mean? Because I've seen white people with nigga mentality. I've seen Asians with nigga mentality. I've seen every kind of culture with a nigga mentality that has and practices self-hate, because at the bottom line, that's what that is. So at the end of the day, if you can actually run out here and say that I see another nigga, then that means you don't value yourself and you don't have any self-love. When you recognize the love for yourself and your love for yourself as a god or a goddess, you don't recognize you don't recognize your brother and your sister as a threat. You don't recognize them as competition. You don't recognize them as the enemy. You want to see them have equal as you or more than you. You know what I mean? When you recognize yourself as a god, because at the end of the day, I don't care what kind of killer you is, what kind of drug dealer you is, everybody believe in a higher power, and a god can't kill a god. But a nigga can easily kill a nigga because he don't see the value in himself. So if I don't see value in myself, how am I going to ever see value in you? But when I see a value in myself and recognize myself as a god, then I recognize another god and I greet that god as that, or that god is as that. So you have to really put in perspective about what it is that you out here trying to push, or what narrative that you're trying to push, and ask yourself, are you standing on your square by your own words? That's up for you to decide. By all means, them is your bags to carry. And if you don't believe in that and you want to continue to carry on and think that you're doing something, that's cool. That's perfectly fine. You might be able to get to a bag. That's perfectly fine. I really don't care about how much money you make. I don't care what kind of cars you can drive. I don't care about what kind of knowledge you have if you're not putting any of that knowledge to any kind of practicality. Dr. Hugh P. Newton said we need observation and participation. He didn't say we need a whole bunch of motherfucking loudmouth people who's going to talk a bunch of good game and do nothing. So if you want to see change, you got to stand in that light. You got to be that truth. You got to be that truth seeker. You got to be that being. You got to be that of what you say that you are and what you're going to stand on. And we understand that people, like I said, you're going to better yourself every day. People are going to slip. People's going to make different moves. People are going to make different pivots in life. I start making different pivots in life and people start questioning, my leadership abilities and my qualities and stuff as well. I never took back from the people. I never did anything to abuse the people. It just might look different. But again, I'm not living in your purpose. I'm not living in your light. I'm not living in your shadow. I'm living for myself. And by living for myself, being a bit selfish with that means that as long as I'm good, I can make sure that my people is good. If I'm better, I can make sure that my people is better. And by all means, that's where you should be living, because when you are to live and die for the people, it is a strong responsibility. When you are speaking to the people, it's a strong responsibility, because next thing they're going to be doing is looking to you for your actions. That's the next thing. The first thing when I picked up from the Panther Party and when I picked up this Black Rider card, you understand, people was looking for the actions next. Because again, I went through different phases in my life through my transition of becoming the God that I am and understanding the God that I am. You know what I mean? So, and I'm still figuring that out as well, because every single day I want to get better. So that means it's going to be new information. And anytime you get new information, you get a new level of consciousness, you get a new level of language. So I'm going to do the best that I can to be the best man, best God that I can, and leave the mere mortal shit and the nigga shit to the niggas. You don't want to, you done tired of doing nigga shit, you tired of seeing nigga shit, reading nigga shit, then I suggest you get with the gods. Then I suggest you build with the gods. And I suggest you leave the nigga shit alone. Because the more niggas start to see gods, the more they start being in tune, the more they start to question, the more they start to be intrigued by it, the more they start to want it. Again, observation and participation. If you're not living by the standards of a God, then why would you think anybody want to follow that? Why would you think anybody want to follow? What are they going to follow? Just everyone want to follow your words? Listen, you are caught up, people are caught up with the romanticizing and the feeling of the words and not actually putting the words into practicality. You're not making it practical. You're not living by it. You're not doing it. I don't want to be your motivational speaker. That's no different than going to a pastor in church and you turn around every other day after that, before Sunday, you sinning and everything else. You just going to church so it can make you feel good. I don't want to make you feel good, motherfucker. I want you to do better. I don't care how you feel about what I say. Like David Banner said, I want you to think. We have to start making thinking and critical thinking and making being smart and nerds and everything sexy and cool again. And what I mean by sexy is that it's admired and it's respected and it's attractive by it on any level on this planet. You are God's chosen people. You are the original people of this earth. You know, that whole Black Lives Matter. Of course, Black Lives Matter. If Black lives don't matter and we are the original people of this earth, then of course no lives matter. We are the civilization, the creator, and the believer, and the you know, the alpha of all of this shit. You know what I mean? The Eve gene, Sarah Bartman. You know what I mean? So it's like we have everything in us to be great. You just gotta tap into you, figure out how you gonna be great. But by no means, you don't get to educate the people on dumb shit. Which actually, I'm gonna take that back. Educate the people on good stuff and not live by it. You should want more for yourself. You're doing yourself a disservice. Click the link in the bio.